Do what you've been coached to do, what you know how to do, and play with incredible effort every snap. Hey, and for you seniors, make it one you'll never forget.
Let's go.
Everybody got it?
Let's
Let's
go.
get out there.
Let's go.
Let's go get it, man. Let's go!
All right, welcome to the Coach Bryan Moore Show. I'm Margaret Ann Prater, alongside Coach Bryan Moore. And please tune in every Wednesday on our YouTube channel, on the HHS Tiger channel for this show. And then if you can't make it to the ball games, tune in on the NFHS Network to watch our guys on Friday night. And Coach, we got to thank our sponsors here: Life Church Agency on Main, Marmac Commercial Real Estate, Peck Funeral Home, Eddie Pruitt Ford, Express Bath, and Coleman Regional Hospital. We're sending too, but you and Bert tried to warn me. He tried to warn all of us. That was a tough game.
Yeah, it was. It was tougher even than expected. I mean, they, I mentioned they got a lot to play for. I mean, first year coach, that was an opportunity to win kind of a signature game, and of course we're fortunate it worked out our way. But I mean, those kids have a lot of pride too. That program is, just coming off a year where they were a second round team, and with a veteran coach and everything. And so those kids knew how to win, and fortunately we found a way to pull it out at the end. But it was certainly a tough ball game, and we're glad to have last week off.
Well, do you think it was their preparation or injuries, fatigue, or do you think it was just a combination of all of it that kind of made it what it was?
Probably a combination of all. I got to do a better job of getting us ready to play. I didn't have us ready, and that falls on me. It all does. And I thought our kids were sluggish. I thought we were not locked in. And again, that starts at the top. And I told our coaches that, and we all understood. And we're not, just to be honest, we're not talented enough to just roll out there and win. I mean, we have to do everything right in this program, and for the most part, we do. And but again, at the end of the game, when it mattered the most, Rye was doing all that he could. Lincoln had a couple big carries, and he wasn't feeling it. Our offensive line played a lot better down the stretch, and then we scored with 10 seconds on the clock or whatever. And Marcus, our player of the game, had quite a night and really carried us in a night where we weren't fully healthy. And but it was huge to have another kid step up. And then there were so many factors, Cole Miles and the block punt and all those things. Our special teams absolutely crushed them, and that was a huge part of the game because we didn't necessarily win the other two phases. Right. And so a night when we needed to be really good in field position, we were. A night where we needed something to happen on special teams, we did. So again, proud of our program for winning a game we didn't play very well, but finding a way at the end.
Well, and that was my next question. Kind of, you led me right on into it. That was great. These kids play with a resilience and play to the final buzzer. Yeah. Unlike any team I've seen.
Yeah.
How do you coach that?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just, I think it's consistency. Consistency about the way that we prepare. It's putting them in situations as best we can in practice to where the pressure's off of them. They know what we're going to go to. They know the plays that are going to be called. They knew the type of punt block that was coming in the game. They knew how we would handle the 2 minutes left. We really couldn't throw the ball over their head. Our kids understand that, and they're all in. They believe, you have to win to get to that point. And fortunately, we won a lot lately, and so it allows you to understand, hey, we're not always going to roll out here and win by 30 points. Heck, the last month and a half has taught us that. We're going to win some games close because, again, we're just not talented enough to just blow people out. Last year, we had a team that had some explosive weapons that could score quickly. And score easy. We don't do that. We grind out touchdowns and grind out field goals and grind out stops, and that's okay. That's who Hartsville's been over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And so that's okay. And I understood that when I came here, and I understood that at the same time you'd have tough, hard-nosed kids that would believe, would do everything right. And again, we didn't do that leading up to that Decatur game in our preparation, and we've got to do that. And sometimes those are eye-opening experiences where you go, hey, just because we've won a lot and we beat them 5 times in a row or 6 times or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're just going to go away. And we've got to understand that. And so I think that the bye week was really good for us as far as our prep. And then I know so far in our prep for Bob Jones, it's been good.
Well, and I have 3 bye-week questions.
Okay.
You guys were busy during the bye week. There's a couple of activities I want to talk about that you did, and then I want to talk about the injuries. But first one, Mom's Revenge.
Yep.
Those videos, I did not see one person that was not smiling. And, just to be honest, after women's clinic and watching that, we kind of know where the talent's coming
No
from,
doubt.
right?
There's no doubt.
Right. What can you say about that?
Well, Jamie Haynes' idea to do that, and she's probably, was wanting to take out a little frustration on Jake over the years. All mamas do from time to time. And but it was a lot of fun. I'd seen people do that before, and really never thought about doing it ourselves. But it was just so fun, and the women's clinic same way. I mentioned before we build a lot of relationships with dads because naturally football mostly dads, and moms do a ton too. I don't mean that. I just mean that our contact is most time with dads pulling chains and whatever. And so it's so fun to see the moms and be able to do some cool stuff with them as well. High school football still is about the experience for kids. It's not. Yes, we want to win, and it keeps me in the office in there and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's about doing things with them that incorporates their family, and then making especially their senior season that we focus on, it's all about them. Every year, the banquet, the Mom's Revenge stuff, the decals with dad, all that kind of stuff that we do is all about creating an experience for kids, and that's really fun. So that was a lot of fun. And sometimes you got to take the edge off. Sometimes you got to relax, man, and just kind of bring it back to, hey, these are kids. They're playing in front of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people, so it's a big deal. But sometimes you got to bring them back and say, let's have some fun at practice too. And it makes them want to be here and want to be together.
Absolutely. And, you talk about the relationships. Senior Coaches Day. You always take the seniors somewhere special. And I think it's got to be good for them to be on the level playing field with the coaches.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I went to Topgolf this week.
We did. We took a group. It was 30 of us, I think, went with coaches included. And you saw some good golf and a lot of bad golf out there. I'm one of the bad golfers.
I see my brother.
Yeah. We've got some guys that, but it's just a lot of fun for us. We eat, we ride together. We don't spend a ton of time because I want them to get home and enjoy some time at home too. But I think that's important. I think you need to be doing some things. We did a senior picnic before the season. We always take this bye week as an opportunity to do something together. Again, the biggest factor from this point forward, because it's raining today and it's cold now and all that stuff, is still wanting to practice and prepare and be together. Because you probably, for people who've been around locker rooms for a long time, there's some teams that don't want to be together anymore. You probably think back in your life, if you were a basketball player, it doesn't matter. You probably thought, man, I'm ready to get away from these people. The key when you have 100 of them, especially led by your seniors, is wanting to still be here and wanting to fight together and enjoy the time together that you have. Because right now we got 2 guaranteed games left with these seniors. I hope it's 6, but there's 2 guarantees. And I told them that this morning at our team meeting. I said, you can make it what you want. You can, put everything aside and say, I'm going to focus on football for these 6 weeks, and I'm going to make it the very best I can. And I think that things like Topgolf, Mom's Revenge, all that kind of stuff kind of goes into that.
Well, and then one more question about the off week. Believe it or not, I get some questions because they know I come talk to you every week. It's all about, are we healthy?
Yeah.
Are we getting healthy? What are we doing? So what did you guys do? I asked Coach Newton the same thing.
Yep.
What did you guys do this week to kind of refocus, rejuvenate, get everybody healthy and ready to go again?
Well, again, the things off the field were big, but Monday and Tuesday we had practice, and they were good practice. They were short. They were 90 minutes. They're very efficient, so we get a lot done in 90 minutes, and we don't have kids going both ways, so that helps us to be able to move in and out of drills. We went back and refocused, especially on some special teams things. Like all summer for us, we focus on circuit work and like skill stuff and everything and get really good at it, some competition stuff as well. And we went back to that. Like it's looking back at like fall camp, what did we do? You obviously don't line up and run into each other for 90 minutes. You try and stay healthy and use that time to get yourself back. And I think we are. I think it's not just physical health, it's mental health. It's getting to, again, like you said, the getting away. I took Thursday and Friday off, and Lindsay and I didn't do a lot. Went to Birmingham Thursday, and we scouted Thursday and Friday. But during the day, I got some stuff done in my house and just stuff that, just like normal, I'm like, this is normal life now. In football season, it's 6 days a week, most days 12 hours a day, and there's just very little time to do anything else. And so it helps us all, take your kids to school, do some stuff like that. For our players, it was come in late, sleep late, instead of be here at 6:30 in the morning, now you're coming in at 8, like a normal student. So I think that helps tremendously, and I think the bye week this year came at a really, really good time. We'd like to have it earlier. But again, now it's late in the season, one game, and then into the playoffs. So I think that we're going to see a much healthier football team than we had before.
Let's hope so. All right, we'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show. Hi, I'm Jenny Tankersley.
I'm Dwight Tankersley.
And I'm Rejane Hampton, and we're your agency on Main. Local realtors here to serve you. One of our team members will be more than happy to find you that perfect home. Go Tigers!
All right, we're back with Coach Bryan Moore. Coach, we got to talk about Decatur. Let's go over some offensive numbers. Lowest offensive output since Austin.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if that was on Decatur's side or our side? Were we just not clicking? What was going on?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest number was 5 3-and-outs. We hadn't had 5 3-and-outs probably the rest of the season combined. So we didn't stay on the grass as much as we wanted to. Therefore, our conversion percentage wasn't as good as we'd want. We were fairly efficient. We're at 12%, so right on the number, which was the key to the game, is not having a bunch of negative plays. And like I mentioned, we won the field position by about 20 yards, which was obviously massive. We did have 2 turnovers, which is very uncharacteristic for us. We can't allow that to happen. But we didn't have a lot of negative plays, didn't have sacks and stuff like that. So, you know, overall, we ran the ball pretty good. Ran it for 210. We just didn't throw it very well. We didn't attempt a lot, and we didn't have very many explosives. I think our longest play from scrimmage was like 20 yards, somewhere in that range. So we weren't super explosive in that way. It was something that I think we, you know, obviously are going to work on. And so that hurt. I mean, as I mentioned before, it was a grinded out type game. And then, you know, we got running backs in and out and quarterbacks in and out. And, you know, so we didn't play particularly well up front. You know, I think Coach Prater will be the first one to say that. We just didn't play well. Now they had a great bye week and they've had a great practice so far. And so I think they'll rebound from that. But I think our kids kind of thought, and again, it starts with me, that we're going to walk through this game and be fine. Well, that's never going to happen. We're 6 or 7A football. It's all we play, right? Those opponents. And they're all really good and they all have good players. And so I think Decatur shocked us, especially one of their D linemen was really good, really talented player. They have a good inside linebacker. And I think our kids kind of thought they weren't going to play hard. And I don't understand that. And so, you know, I think that refocusing will really help us going forward.
Well, and I was looking at my question. I take notes sometimes, especially during Decatur, because I knew we were going to have a week off. And the one word that I repeated over and over was frustrated.
Yep.
It seemed like they were able to frustrate us, but we were frustrated from an internal standpoint. So you talked about the drills and going back to basics.
Yep.
Anything specifically offensively that you worked on this week?
I mean, I think we got to run block better. I mean, we didn't cut guys off. You know, we had some slant stuff up front that beat us across our face, which, I mean, Oxford didn't beat us across our face. Some guys that we've played that had elite players on the D line. And I just think it was a focus issue. And again, you know, sometimes when you get worn down mentally, you don't lock in as much. And again, that starts with me getting our team ready to go and understanding, hey, this team's 3 and whatever, but they got good players too. And you can see them on film and that sort of thing. So, you know, we went back to the basics, you know, take some of the tags off, you know, and not be quite as multiple outside and just say, all right, we're going to run inside zone right here with no tag. We're going to hand the ball off and we're going to execute those blocks up front, you know, instead of bailing guys out with a fade ball to Marcus or, you know, a slant to Jaden Morris or Trammell or whoever, you know, instead, you know, we're just going to line up and run the football and execute those things at a higher level. And I think, again, it was good to refocus this week on that.
Awesome. And now on a high note, let's talk about Marcus.
Yeah.
Player of the game, he had 8 receptions. He is growing exponentially, it seems like, every week. And it's the confidence level, because he knows he's a big guy and can go up and grab the ball. What can you say about how Marcus has developed as a person and a player?
I mean, probably as much or more within a season of any kid I've seen. I mean, the first week he didn't play. I mean, he played, you know, 10 snaps or whatever against Austin. And then for him to come along, and that's testament to Coach Perrin and his belief in continuing to stay with him and continue to give Marcus chances. Marcus is an outstanding kid. He really is. He's a great kid. He's got a great dad that makes him do right. And Marcus got a chance to be a Power 5 guy. I mean, the 6'7" receivers, those guys don't grow on trees. And one that can high point, and you can tell he rebounds the basketball and is a great player for them with Coach Key. But, you know, I just think that Marcus has just made tremendous strides in his consistency, getting here on time, being right, you know, doing the little things right. the last play of the game, or whatever, the last offensive snap, Marcus kind of rocks the guy's guy to sleep and then breaks across the middle of the end zone. We're at the 1 yard line. We need to throw it because we don't have any more timeouts. He's right in the middle of the end zone, but he just runs away from the guy and then made a huge catch and, didn't do anything crazy, didn't celebrate or act, spike the ball or do anything. He just caught his touchdown, gave it to the official, ready for the next play. And I think that's a growth thing for him, but he's got an opportunity to be the most highly recruited receiver that I've ever had and one that can change games. I think he's got 5 or 6 touchdowns, 3 or 4 called off. So far this year. So like early he was snake bit, but that's starting to come around again. And I'm just really, really proud of Marcus.
All right. We all are, I think.
No doubt.
I'm glad he's on our team.
No doubt.
All right. We'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Come see us at Eddie Pruitt Ford. We're a proud supporter of Hartselle Athletics.
All right, we're back, and I'm here with our player of the game, Marcus Tapscott, and his position coach, Jesse Perrin. And I'm going to try to alternate a little bit, but Coach, we're just going to start with you.
Okay.
This question is kind of easy, but you went from the most experienced group last year to the most inexperienced group of players this year. So what did you change in your coaching philosophy? How did you differentiate things for these guys?
Yeah, I think the hardest part was obviously replacing a guy like, Eli and Zay the last couple of years where, they were pretty much 2 and 3 year starters. Part of it was finding people that could fill some of those positions. So we moved Jaden Morris from running back to that slot wide position. That was kind of definitely a need. He's come a long way, grown, and then obviously Marcus back out here to fill that X position was crucial because, like I said, we were. During the off season, it was a lot of talk about how we're going to fill these positions, and so it's been a slow process going all the way back to summer, just trying to get them acclimated. Like I said, with Jaden being a new position and Marcus kind of coming back to us after a year off, just kind of getting back acclimated to our plays, and kind of we started from square one, and then just kind of have built on it throughout the year, and we've gotten a little bit more complex and complicated, but. Obviously, having Marcus stepping up and starting to make a lot of plays, it's been a big help. So,
well, then out of your receiving corps, which player has shown the most growth overall, and then who's kind of surprised you? Who's come out of nowhere?
It's hard to not say Marcus. I mean, it just having him back out here was big, and I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect with him. Not playing last year and being able to kind of, come in and learn and fill that position. And like I said, he's playing even a new position than when he was here. As a freshman, he played kind of the Y position, so moving him to X and having to kind of learn the ins and outs of that. But like I said, he helped us a little bit in Austin. You saw kind of glimpses, made a few big plays in that game. And then kind of from that point, we told him, like, look, you made some plays, you're going to get your opportunity to basically be a starter. And he's kind of taken a run with it and, just started improving and keeps improving. And like I said, I don't know where we'd be without him right now. So he's, been big for us for sure.
I had a big catch in that Decatur game and several at Oxford as well. Of the defenses we faced, who do you not want to see again?
I think it's hard to play a team twice. So you look ahead, I don't like to look ahead, but if we had to play, Oxford again, that would be tough. Or Gaston City, just having to face a team again where they know, it's hard to change a lot, and you just kind of have to, it's just difficult, to beat a team twice in the same season. So, other than that, but I'd take our chances against anybody. But other than just playing a team twice, I think, we can compete with anybody.
Awesome. The reason why I asked that, I asked the offensive line who was the toughest D line they faced, and I was surprised. Mm-hmm. They all said Oxford. And I had a few guys in cities. I was expecting a Muscle Shoals thing, but they said no. Anyway, so let's shift gears a little bit. You're the guy that calls plays in. Have you ever screwed it up and called in the wrong play?
My first year with Coach Moore, I messed up and got an earful, and I've made sure it's hard. You can, I think our playboard's back there, but I mean, we got plays with 6, 7, 8 tags. It's hard to get some of that in, but I guess as many reps as we get throughout the week doing it helps. But like I said, I can only remember one time his first year. Other than that, I've been pretty consistent with it.
Well, and it's a time crunch. I mean, you got 40 seconds in between plays, so you got to Will's got to call it down. You got to discuss it with Matt and Coach. Does Coach get in on the discussion as well, or?
Yeah, he's good about kind of depending on the flow of the game. If it's going well, you don't really hear a lot. But he'll just ins and outs of like, I like this, or and it's all stuff we worked out the week, like just kind of help Will remember that we like this and this landmark or this position on the field, and just kind of things like that. So
awesome. And when you called him, have you ever had him run something different than what you sent out there?
Yes. Yeah. We had some of that this week with Decatur. We had a few that we kind of, something was signaled in, and we ran the opposite. It could be the opposite run of most of our tags that go right or left. So we've screwed it up a few times where we run the left instead of the right, and vice versa. So, but not too bad. We haven't screwed too many up. So
that's good. All right, Marcus. I promised I was going to talk to you. You're next on my list. What's been your favorite moment so far this season? And it doesn't have to be in game; it can be anything.
Probably, we had it's probably gonna be in game. The catch against Oxford.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, how has Coach Perrin helped you grow your game?
He's helped me a lot. He pushed me. He's straight up. If I mess up, he's gonna tell me, and I'm thankful for that. Stuff like that.
Hey, being coachable, that's awesome. That's awesome. If you could play any other position, so if I said, your build doesn't matter, you can just go do whatever you want to do, what you gonna play?
Probably DN. I said that. Yeah,
look out, Porter. He's coming for it. What part of your game do you want to still improve on? What do you think needs to, or what are you working on the most?
Probably my agility, feet work and stuff like that, and getting faster.
Do you feel your confidence has grown throughout the season? The repetitions have helped? Yes. All right, now this is our fun question. Who on the team has the best drip?
I say me. If I can't say it's me, I say Caleb.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Shout out to the DB. The DBs all name themselves. They all name themselves. And then last question. You guys are off the hook. All right, your favorite part of practice?
When they say coordinators.
that means it's over.
I love it. All right. Thank you both, Marcus Tatscott and Jesse Perry. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with Coach Bert Newton, our defensive coordinator and associate head coach. Coach, we got to go back a couple of weeks. I had to rattle my brain a little bit to the Decatur game, where your defense gave up 12 points. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But we had 9 of those big plays that allowed 162 yards. But didn't that kind of describe that game? Nobody seemed like ever had momentum. It just was stagnant. So can you talk about your defenses?
Yeah. So the big one of the big ones on the first touchdown scoring drive where the tight end caught it. We had a bust on a drop with the linebacker. If he could drop in the right spot, we either would have hit the guy or maybe even picked it off. And so and then I think I told you that it's still Decatur, it's still Duper at quarterback, and he makes things happen. He's really good. So he makes things happen. Or he makes things happen, and it's kind of when you're playing good football teams, that's kind of part of it.
I was really impressed with that. You're right. You and Coach Moore. That's what I'm going to tell him when I talk to him today. Was you tried to warn us that it was senior night and they were bringing everything they had.
Going back to when I first got here, Coach Gotze, he all week, you're gonna get their best, and like he wouldn't stop it, and I was kind of like, what is he doing this for? But now I understand exactly why he's doing it for, because we are gonna get their best, and we did.
Oh boy, anyway, there's two big plays that I want to talk about that I think were one was a momentum changer and one was a definite game changer. Let's start with the game changers right off the bat. Cole Miles doesn't block that punt.
Yep.
You know, and he's special teams, but he's one of yours.
Yep.
So you get the question.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. How impressive was that?
So Coach Atkins, JD Atkins, is in charge of our block team and everything, and they had it schemed up all week. One of you guys is going to get loose, and Hudson got loose twice. He almost got a roughing call, Hudson Buckaloo, and then on the last one, Cole said, "I'll go get it," and Coach Moore made the call. Coach Atkins said, "Switch him. He's going to go get it," and sure enough, he did. And talking about saving the game, man, what a big play! And but he's a special kid because in those big moments, it's kind of like Rye. He wants the ball. Well, he wants to be the guy to go get it. And so, what a big play, and then won the game for us, or help us win the game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then, we were trying to stop Decatur because they had the ball. I looked, fourth quarter, the clock's ticking down. Yep. And I watched one of those plays that I think linebackers dream about, and that was Jake Haynes meeting the running back in the backfield and literally just rolling him over. Can you talk about that? You can illustrate it much better than I can.
So going back before in that same drive, we had them 3rd and 17 backed up. Mm-hmm. And Jake had the call. We ran our nickel package, which is dropping 8, and you can't throw into it realistically. And he's supposed to spy the quarterback. We went the wrong way, and the quarterback ran for literally 17.5 yards and got the first down. And I thought it was over. I really did. And Coach used the timeouts well. And then on that 4th down play, or 3rd down play, Jake had the big tempo. And then it's so rewarding when a guy like him, he knew he screwed it up. You can see him hit his helmet on after the thing. But then he comes back on the same drive and gets the biggest stop of the night and gives it back to our offense on the short field. And that was, like I said, and gets a chance to ball the pump, Cole. So, loving for him, loving for our defense. It was a really good moment for Jake.
All right, and let's talk about Jameson Falciani. I was looking at the stats, trying to come up with some stuff. I got to read his stats to you. Okay. 14 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 pass breakup, 1 quarterback pressure, and 1 forced fumble. That's a decent game.
And he played a really that's better than a decent game. It was his best game ever. He made tons of plays. The one I'm most proud of for him was the one we had been on the field for about 10 plays, I think. And they were about to score. And Duper brought it down, scrambled, and ran. He was about the 3 or 4 yard line, and a complete and total effort play by Jameson. Just run to the football, knock the ball out, we got it back, and saved a touchdown. And again, everybody goes back to the block punt and the Jake stop and all that. But if that don't happen in the second quarter, we're not there. So super proud of him and his growth, and he's doing really, really well.
All right, and let's talk about, I got one more question, then you're off the hook. This week, we had an off week. We were talking about everybody's banged up, all that. What did you guys do as a defense to refocus, to get well, all that during this off week? How did you use the time off?
So we practiced Monday and Tuesday, and we get the kids off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the coaches didn't get off. It's fine, it's off week. We practiced Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we went to Top Golf with the seniors. Thursday, Coach Moore and I went and watched possible opponent in the playoffs. Friday, we split the whole staff up. Everybody went somewhere and watched somebody. But the biggest thing we focused on was, getting off blocks, covering people, tackling, and playing hard. So, that's what we did Monday and Tuesday, and then we had the lift and everything. Coach Holly trained them up right and took care of them, and hopefully we're going to be rested and ready to go for this, because we're treating Bob Jones like a playoff game. Because it is, no doubt. And you look at their first 4 games, and, I saw them against most Shoals, and I was like, they're not any good. Well, same thing happened last year. By the time they played us, they're good. Mm-hmm. And so, we're getting ready for them. And again, I told my guys this morning, I said, hey, I'm getting ready for 6 weeks, guys. I want to play this thing out, and we can if we'll just keep getting better and do little things and all that kind of stuff.
Second season.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is Shane Odom with Marmac Commercial Real Estate. We approach real estate with our 3I approach: integrity, intelligence, and innovation. To be your full-service real estate company that can handle all your real estate needs, from commercial, such as warehouse, retail, apartments, to land, farms, residential developments, along with houses such as investment homes or your dream home. Marmac Commercial Real Estate has over 15 years experience providing award-winning full-service real estate experience. One team, endless possibilities. Marmac Commercial Real Estate.
All right, we're back with Coach Bryan Moore. Coach, let's look forward to next week. We got Bob Jones. It's as much of a Jekyll and Hyde team as I've seen. I mean, they beat Sparkman. They beat Florence. Remember, and I was talking to my kids in class today. Florence is the team that Muscle Shoals beat 9-0.
Yeah.
Florence is no joke either.
Right.
So how do you prepare these guys going in?
Well, I mean, you kind of want to play Bob Jones early. They're 0-3, and Muscle Shoals got on them, and just a credit to Coach White and Coach Swear and those guys that just kind of stay the course, and finding their identity. Early in the year they had multiple quarterbacks get hurt, similar to us, and they just kept searching, and that is hard, right? When it happens, kind of for the next couple of weeks, and we've seen that, who are we again? It sort of takes you out of who you want to be, and well, it turned them into a downhill, run it, 50 times a game team, which is what Coach Swearingen wants to do, and did such a great job for us for the year that he was here. And but they're snapping it directly to a 240-pound running back behind 7 to 8 300-pounders up front, and it's just an all-out war in there within about 10 yards of space, and you better strap up and be ready to go. It's not ideal, I'll be honest with you, to be a week 10 before the playoffs to play a group like this, where physically they're going to be a battering ram on you. But our kids will fight, and you just have to fit things right, man. You can't let the ball go north and south, and you got to make sure it goes east and west. You spill the ball, and you rally and tackle and play with great effort. I know Coach Newton, I'm sure, talked about that. But, they're a good football team, and one that when I scheduled them, it was more 10 personnel and throw it around, and then now here they are, and it's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why the first thing I said to the staff meeting, I'm sorry this happened, and
So you've been saying that a lot because you had Gadsden City and Oxford too.
Right, yeah. Bad scheduling by that guy. But no, it'll be fun. They're a quality football team that, you're right, Jekyll and Hyde, that has come around and won five of the last 6 or whatever it is, and is playing really well.
Well, and I think that running back you're talking about is Tyron Washington.
Yep.
I looked him up. 0 receiving yards on the season. He's averaging 138.8 yards per game rushing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, we're going to tell you what we're going to do.
No doubt.
You just
Here
got
I
to stop
come.
him.
Yep. Yeah, he's a special talent. You know what? He came over in the spring game. This was 3 years ago maybe, and he was going into maybe his sophomore year. He's just a really, really good back, and one that, in my opinion, needs a sign. I don't know what he's got going on college-wise, because it's not just running downhill over people. He's very patient. He's got great feet for a big guy. Can move and kind of slide around blocks, and then they do such a great job of getting extra hats to the point of attack. Moving, pulling guys, and playing with up backs. They really do a good job in their run scheme.
All right, we'll be right back watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Peck Funeral Home is owned and operated by folks who live in the same communities they serve. Our employees are the heart of our business. The funeral home proudly employs over 30 local individuals. Currently, the funeral home is managed by Jeff Halbrooks, who has held that position for over 20 years. Our goal is simple and has remained the same now since 1929. Peck Funeral Home strives to provide genuine service from the heart.
Okay, we're back, and I'm not going to mess up her words.
Okay.
So here's our Eddie Pruitt Ford fan question of the week. And she said, first, I hope the bye week helped us with injuries, which you said it has.
Yep.
I know you like to take it 1 week at a time, but will you play a little more conservative this week to get ready for Center Point next week?
Well, I'm not sure how much more conservative we can play. I feel like we're in a straitjacket at this point, offensively especially. We held Porter, against Decatur, and he was capable of playing. And it was one of those deals like, do we play him and risk him? So, sure, in that regard, we're going to make sure that we're healthy going into the Center Point game, yes. As far as, I've heard a ton of coaches, in games like this that don't technically matter, I guess, as far as region, well, how are you going to play it? We're going to play to win. We're going to play our very best for 4 quarters, if they're healthy, and see, if we can win another ball game. Because my thing about this Week 10 is it's kind of like playoff round 1 to me, because if you're not playing well in this Week 10 game, it affects you going into Week 1 of the playoffs. Like, you're now starting sort of who you're going to be as you finish the season, if that makes sense. It's sort of, the season feels like a roller coaster because, you start early and you're finding your identity, and then for us, we get hurt in the middle of the year, so we're still hunting. And hopefully we found that in the bye week, and we can start playing well and figure out what the recipe is for this team with the kids we have right now, healthy, ready to go, what does the recipe for success look like with us now? And so, I think that starts with Bob Jones. And so we're going to go over there to play or go over there to win the game and play our very best and in hopes that, our seniors, again, we talked about this too, another win for them moves them above last year's class in total wins. Wow. So again, that matters too, that legacy that you leave. So we talk a lot about that here and making history. We talked about it a ton last year. So we're excited about the game. It'll be fun to go there and play them. And, it'll be, I'm sure a lot of people there, their senior night and, and 2 playoff teams again. And, they've got a lot to play for and so do we. So we're excited about the game.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week. Coach Bryan Moore Show. All right, and this week in Hartsville High Athletics on Wednesday, November 1st, we don't have any events. On Thursday, November 2nd, big day for cross country. They have sectionals at Palmer Park. On Friday, November 3rd, we have varsity football at Bob Jones. We just talked about that. And then varsity girls basketball is going to be going to the Gulf Shores tip-off, and they will be there Friday and Saturday. We're going to follow up on Saturday, November 4th with swimming at Huntsville Aquatic Center. On Monday, November 6th, we've got basketball season. The junior high is going to travel to Muscle Shoals on Monday. Then they're hosting Buckhorn on Tuesday, and that's this week in Hartsville High Athletics.
Come see us at Eddie Pruitt Ford. We're a proud supporter of Hartsville Athletics.